All right. Again, I just want to thank all of you guys for joining today. We're going to just go ahead and cover what is Dedicated Tech, what is Dedicated Tech Academy, and how can we help you get a job as a QA engineer. And that is the primary focus for this training course, QA engineering. Um, so in Dedicated Tech, right now we have 4 instructors. We're planning to um, do 3 classes per week in order to increase, at least decrease the time that it takes for you to be ready for the market. We used to do 2 days class. In 2 days class, it takes 4 months and a little bit more time to be ready. That includes your resume preparation, mentorship, as well as preparation for the market. So that's why we will do 3 classes each week in order to make sure that you're ready. All right. I just want to talk about our last on-site class, and this is just to give you guys a sense where we come from and how can we help you to get um, get an opportunity in QA engineering. And one of the important thing that I like to let you guys know is that because it is going to be online, we will be a bit more engaging in order to make sure that people are fully engaged, be able to do their homework and participate daily basis in order to be successful in this course. Um, in this slide, as you guys can see, most of our candidates that did the class in 2019, all of them is working somewhere at this time. Some of them actually got promotion, some of them became developers, some went on to the DVA as well for backend testing, but also QA engineering. All right. So this is when I celebrated it on our on-site class. On the right side is Moshin. He initially started as a student and now he's part of Dedicated Tech. He's going to be managing onboarding and engaging with the students to make sure that they have everything they need. In the middle with a red sweater is Shantabai. So he's one of our instructor and I'm the second person on that in this picture. All right, so this is how our class looked like in Hillside. And we would do lengthy classes on the weekend in order to make sure that we're able to prepare students for the real world. All right. So now I'm just gonna explain what is QA, and some of you guys may already have an idea what is QA. Some of you guys have friends that became QA and now they're holding a good job with a good salary. So quality assurance QA is a responsibility where you ensure that the product meets a quality standard. And where do you get the standard from? Do you create the standard yourself or do you create the standard based on your experience? The standard is actually coming from the requirement. A company usually gives you a requirement and you look at it, you understand what the functionality and feature should be, and then you create your checklist. The checklist that we call is basically a test case. That checklist, you're going to go through the checklist and you will then ensure that it meets all the criteria. It's compared to a job, somebody like a home inspector. When you build a new house and you just want to make sure that the house is safe, you just want to make sure that the house meets all of the criteria that you were looking for initially, you will then hire a inspector who would come in and do all those checking. And that's what we usually do. When the software is built, we go in and we basically look into the functionality one at a time and see if that meets our criteria. Over time, when you have experience, you will also be able to create suggestions. When you see that there are some functionality that may be improved and you have that idea, you can bring it to your team and they will honor that idea. They may honor that idea. So that's gonna be in a nutshell a QA or QA job. Um, go into that. Okay. So these are a few questions that you may have right now. You don't have a computer science degree. Do you really need it? You don't have any experience. You don't have an engineering background. So these are actually nice to have experiences. So if you do have a computer science, great. That means you'll be moving really fast. If you have some experience, that's even better, right? We will be able to replace you faster. If you have an engineering background, whether that is electrical, whether that is mechanical, that will be even better, right? And the reason why I say that is because you will have the patient. The reason why you chose engineering, the reason why you have the engineering background is because you have that patient. And this will help you to be able to do the course and follow through and actually complete it. One of the problem that we see over the years is that people tends to take it lightly. When you are looking for an engineering job, when you want to become a QA engineer and you take it lightly, it doesn't have a good result at the end. You want to pay attention. You want to basically put your time daily basis, at least 15 to 20 hours in order to be successful in this opportunity. What will you need? So again, the question with the computer science and experience, the reason why you don't need that is because we will be providing you A to Z training, whatever you need. And we do the training based on the real world criteria. And we will then discuss more about the classroom structure and the plans for each of our class later in the slides. But right now, the important thing that we need from you would be 15 to 20 hours minimum time to be spent, and that can be broken down daily basis. So you can do 3-4 hours a day, and that will be easily be 20 hours per week. We have self-reliance, which is, I would say, if you put your time and if you say, okay, look, I spend 2 hours, I need to do 2 more hours, and you follow through, you need to be able to follow through and be able to continue with the class and not do the first week and second week you're falling apart, right? Motivation is something that you need to have. And I would say, where do you get those motivations, right? Number one would be if you had a friend and who recently got a job, if you had somebody that you know who recently got a job, that could be your motivation. Look at their life, see how they're able to move forward, see how they're able to have a nice job, whether they're working from home or working from an office. They're definitely getting recognized in their family as well as in their friends, right? And so motivation is something that you have to look into and say, okay, why should I be motivated? Is this because I want a higher salary? Is this because I want recognitions from family and friends? Is this because I just want a better life? Is this because I just want to feel that I accomplished something, right? So that is something that I would highly recommend. Look into and see if you are motivated enough to be able to do this. The other thing is that if you do finish this course and you're able to achieve this position, whether you failed in your life before and now you're doing odd jobs, maybe you're doing odd jobs, maybe you're doing taxi, maybe you're doing retail jobs, you will somehow feel a sense of accomplishment and be able to continue as a QA engineer. The title QA engineer gives you a lot of satisfaction, and I can tell you this much. Dedication and commitment. Again, dedication means is that you're following through, you're paying attention, you're focused, and you are doing homeworks, you're participating regardless of if everybody else does or not. So you're that person, you notice that on your left, on your right, they're not following through. They're not doing the homework, and you didn't really follow their footsteps. You didn't say, okay, they didn't do it, so I am not going to be doing it. You said, no, I need the job, so I need to do this. And you're pretty much moving forward. That will be dedication and commitment. What you will learn in 4 months. And again, these are few core subjects that you'll be learning in the 4 months. And we added few more, and I will talk about those as well. So first thing is Java. And why Java? And why is it basics? Why not go into advanced? Okay. Java is something that we'll cover, and we do basics Java because Java is such a big topic. If we do advanced, it's gonna take us a year just to cover everything, just for us to get some output from you in order to understand that you learn Java. So we do basic, but we will also try to go and to advance as much as we can. And that depends on you, how much you learn, how much you absorbed from us. Second is Selenium. Selenium in Java is very popular for test automation. So now we talked about manual testing, which is in our previous slide, which is going in and testing yourself and understanding whether it meets a criteria. What if I tell you that there is an efficient way to do this? What if somebody asks you to do the same testing over and over and over again? Will you go and do that yourself, or can you have a robot do the testing? And when I say robot, I'm not talking about physical robot. You will be writing code, and that code will follow your instruction in order to go into a web page, validate, and then come and tell you whether that is pass or fail. And that is a automation framework we built from scratch. We're going to be using technologies like Java, Cucumber, JUnit, TestNG, Maven, PageObject. And these are some technologies to make you more efficient with the test automation that we'll cover. The next thing, the next topic is SQL. We talked about manual testing. We talked about automation, but we didn't talk about backend. So SQL pretty much comes to rescue when it comes about backend testing. Database serves information, and it holds information in tables, in columns and row format. So think about Excel sheet. It holds information in Excel sheet, and database is like having a repository with a lot of Excel sheets, right? But it's just better than Excel because you can write queries. You can actually ask for information that you want to pull. Now, in order to pull this information, you will need to learn the language. You'll need to know what the database understands, what you exactly want. So we will be teaching you SQL, and we will make sure that you are able to do backend testing as well as front end. And manual testing and Selenium would be for the front end side. SQL will be for database validation and backend testing. And SQL, using SQL, it could be manual or automated. So with Selenium, we can actually put as SQL as one of the component and be able to automate that. And we'll talk about that as well to make sure that you're successful in your career. Sorry, why is it going up? Oh, all right. Next one is Jira. So Jira, it's a tool, and similar to that, there are other tools that we recently started teaching. Jira is for project management. Jira is for ticketing management, and managing the tickets that you have. So let's say you get an assignment, you get a Jira ticket. When you're finished, you then update your ticket and say you're done. This is how your team can track your progress, how much work you have put in. Similar to that, we have Azure DevOps, we have Rally, and we'll talk about that to make sure that you learn all those tools as well. The next tool, the next thing is manual testing. So manual testing, when you do manual testing and you do it yourself, and we talked about that a couple times. When I say manual testing, that means you yourself going into a web page, entering information, and then you're expecting something. So think about, you go to Facebook, for example, let's say I want to test if I can add new friends. So I go to Facebook, I then find a friend and click on add. If it lets me, my test pass. If it doesn't let me, my test fail. Okay. So if I did that all on my own as a human, that is manual testing. Okay. So manual testing is, if it's repetitive, that means you're going to be testing that same test case again and again. Okay. What I just described is a test case. And the name of the test case could be verify if I can add new friends after logging in, right? Now, if you imagine you have to do this test every day, or you have to do the same test every time there's a release, so that could be twice a month. Isn't it better for you to just write this test somewhere and just follow through and kind of create a history? When did you test it and how many times it passed, how many times it failed? If that is a good idea, then we're talking about manual testing tools. There are plenty of manual testing tools out there. You can do this test yourself using Excel, and that is a very low tech, but still many companies out there are still using it Excel. Or you can use Azure DevOps, which allows you to be able to manage your test cases. And similar to that, you can use Jira, which has a plugin to manage your test case. And we'll talk about those as well and give you an overview on how to use those tools. All right, now let's talk about opportunity. And for that, I will bring in Shantabai, who's on the line right now, and I'll let him cover that. And I'll go into mute. Shantabai, it's all yours.
Okay. Can everybody hear me? Hi, Joel. Can you hear me?
Yes, I think this
Can hear you.
I think this is for Socrates.
Yeah, Socrates. I think Socrates. I'll come back.
Yeah,
Hey guys, yeah, just a little bit of confusion between how are you guys doing? My name is Socrates. I will be one of the instructors along with Jewel, Shanto, and Moshe. And we'll be dealing, and I'll be going over a couple of things that will be important or keynotes, key to note. Can you go back to the next, to the previous slide, Joe? Thank you. Opportunities. And I just want to touch base a little bit on what opportunities are when it comes to the terms of QA tester, QA engineer, and so on. So you heard a lot of information from Jewel about what this course is going to be offering, what a QA tester should be, what a manual tester should be. You heard a lot of terms like DevOps. You heard a lot of terms like analysts and stuff like that. But what exactly is this stuff, and what exactly is a QA professional, right? So if you have a basic understanding from what Jewel already explained, I want to make sure also that you guys understand that this path, this career path, doesn't only retain you there. It opens the door to other stuff. Okay, so the word opportunities here it's very important, and it's key, right? So and let's face it, not a lot of kids this day goes and says, I want to be a QA professional when I grow up, right? Hell, nobody even knows what a QA professional is when you're like 10 years old, 15 years old, right? You don't know anything about that stuff. The only thing you know about testing is like, if you're a gamer, you'd be like, I'm gonna get into the beta testing for this, right? So that's probably the only testing word that you hear at that age. But to expand from that is, moving on from there, when you go into university, even if you go into computer science programs, system engineering programs, there's very little time spent discussing software testing as a potential career, right? Because it isn't just in that broad spectrum yet. Everybody just talks about the software engineering and software developer and front end developer and so on, and bypassing the importance of how this software is made, how these web pages are made, and the fact of the matter is that the QA testers are the very foundation, the very base of this release well products. Without a QA tester, you wouldn't be able to have these nice products out here, right? So it's very important that you understand the importance of what this role represents in any given company, in any given role, right? Now, likewise, there's not much attention that has been given to the long term of career prospects, right? So of what QA can offer. And that's what I want to introduce, start this conversation with introducing. QA can just open the door to you to many other things. Okay. Uh, this CEO, Brendan Hall, he actually said that quality is about how the company runs and delivers value and experience to its clients. And QA is perfect perch from which to see how, who, and what gets done. So this is a very important, quote, and because it really just doesn't encompass on as I mentioned earlier, on who is developing the code to make that software, but who is also ensuring that that code is properly made, right? That the product is properly made, that when it goes to release state, it's actually to its highest standards, so the highest of standards, right? And now, to delve a little bit into what other opportunities QA can open for you, QA can open for you other career paths such as product manager, DevOps roles, and you heard this word earlier from Jewel. This is not something that we're going to get into now, but just know that there's some more stuff out there for you. Okay, customer experience leaders, enterprise architects, and this is all in IT. Okay, this is all in IT, and the most one that people follow is quality engineering and strategy, more so called SDET nowadays. But this is something that you'll learn eventually. This is not, Rome wasn't built in a day, so you have to start from the bottom, right? You have to start from the base and build yourself up. How do you build yourself up? You build yourself up with knowledge. Knowledge is key for you to progress, for you to advance. Okay, I tell you this from experience because I started with a different career path. I started with a criminology degree, and I found myself actually doing a boot camp like this, and now I find myself being a QA director for a big insurance company. So it opens the door to many things. It doesn't really just ends there, and I could have gone into law enforcement or do something else. But I find myself here. I took the risk, I took the opportunity, and now I find myself here. Now I find myself with a high position, not an executive level yet, but who says that I can't make it to executive level yet, right? So it opens a lot of opportunities, and why don't we go out there now and start talking about what the steps to get that QA job would be. All right, so from what DTS, or Dedicated Tech Solutions Academy, is offering, this is a very concrete and concise program. It only takes 4 months of classes. Like this is going to be crunch time. This is going to the classes, and I want to make sure that you understand this. The classes are not the one and all. This is not just because you're taking 1 hour of this class, another hour of this class, and another of this class. This is it. No, you have to go home. You're gonna be home, but you have to open your computer. You have to research stuff that you might not understand. So we're always going to be here for you to offer to answer your questions, but you have to do your part as well to advance your knowledge further. There's something that I mentioned earlier that you always have to keep in mind. Knowledge is power. Okay. Next, we're going to have an interview prep and resume. So once you're done with this 4 months of intensive learning, intensive studying, we're going to go into, and you succeed in the program, we're going to go into the interview prep and the resume prep. Like we're going to work you, we're going to take a resume, we're going to work it, we're going to make sure that it's to the standards of the industry, right? That it's ready for market. And we're going to make sure that with mock interviews, you're going to be able to get those jobs. I hire people for my company because I am not looking for the second best. I am looking for the best when I hire in my company for my QA team. And if I want the best, I need to make sure that when I take their interview, this person is going to be prepared. He's ready, right? And that's exactly what we're going to do for you. We're going to make sure that you are ready to go out there and take those interviews with confidence, and so that you can so that you can land that QA job. Okay. And then we're going to go into entering the job market. Again, this is all in conjunction with that interview prep and resume prep. Once you're ready, once we get you ready for interviews and your resume is ready, and you're very familiar with it, we're gonna set you up in that market. And you might be overwhelmed because, listen, it's a hot market out there right now. There's no better time for you to get into this than now. Okay. The pandemic unfortunately has happened, but hey, it has made the market so extremely volatile right now, volatile in a positive way, because there's so many job openings right now, and you can't miss that opportunity. Okay. So once you enter that job market, we're gonna start setting up interviews with different recruiters. This is not a one-stop gap. Okay, you might end up failing a few interviews, but it's okay. It's okay to fail an interview, because you learn from what the recruiters or what the managers are looking for. Okay, not one company is the same. Companies are different, and they look for different skill sets. So we're gonna prepare you for that. Okay, even if we fail a couple of interviews in the beginning, it doesn't matter. It just teaches you that you have to be better prepared for the next one, and that's what we're going to be doing. Once we land that job, once we get once we nail that opportunity, that interview, we're going to start working into getting that job offer. That job offer is going to come very fast, and once the job offer comes, this is it. This is as real as it gets. You got the job. But past that point, we're still gonna have to work on your background check and other stuff, and that's moving on to the next step. We're gonna help you with the paperwork. We're gonna make sure that you start off your job the right way. And you know what? We're gonna go back. That number 6 is gonna go back to that number 1 here, the 4 months of class. Because when you get into that job, when you start into that job, it is those 4 months of classes that you took, all that basics that you took, that's going to allow you to survive and to make it out well. You're going to succeed with the knowledge that you acquire here. So there's more to come. I'm going to pass it up to Chantel right now. He's going to speak about in more detail about what the 4 months is going to be including. Okay, this is just a major overview of what we're going to be seeing. Okay,
Thank you,
Chantel.
Socrates. Thank you. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining and staying with us. And thank you, Joel Bhai. So I will actually continue where you ended. So basically, I will be giving some overview about our course outline and structure, rules, regulation, how it works, right? So as Joel Bhai already said, I am one of the instructors out of 3, and I will be helping you next 4 months for class and letting know every other details about the material, and also preparing yourself for interview, mock-up interview, and also resume preparation. Other than that, before that, we have our course, right? So what is that course about? So this is a 4 months course, right? And in these 4 months, we have 16 weeks. We have a lot to cover. We used to have 2 classes every week, but now, as Joel Bhai said, lot to cover, and we need more time to cover this in 4 months. So we will have 3 classes a week, right? And we distributed these 3 classes, 1 class during weekend on Saturday, and 2 classes will be weeknights. It will be sometime like 8 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. At night, 2 classes. All the classes will be recorded. So if for any reason, any emergency, you miss any class, you can watch them, review them, and ask question. So recording will be distributed to all our students. So you will have always access. You can go home, you can actually go back to the class when you have free time and check whatever you missed, or if you have any confusion, you can just review again and again and again. And still, if you have question, we are here. we are here to help you. Jewel Bhai, Socrates, Mohsin Bhai, and I am here for any additional help you need. So we will have online based class at this point. And we have Zoom meetings set up, right? So that will be the structure. So through Zoom meetings, we have several other resources where you will be taking advantage or getting help. We have paid Udemy courses. You don't have to pay. DTS already bought those courses, and you will have access once you are in the batch or once you are our students. We will have other class notes also, PowerPoint slides. So that will be also helpful. We will also recommend whenever we find any helpful videos, online source like YouTube, right? So we'll be helping you next 4 months to get all of these topics covered. So can you go to next slide, Jolvin? Okay, so this is one of the sample daily meetings structure. So our meeting will be starting with a daily stand-up call, and daily stand-up means beginning of meeting, 5 minutes, you will be giving your status, like what you did yesterday, what you are doing today, or if you have any question, right? So we actually have this meeting because if you are a QA, every company has a daily stand-up meeting. So you are preparing for your real life experience, right? So this is kind of real life experience, and you will be doing same thing when you go to job and become a QA. So it will not be a new thing, right? So daily stand-up is very important. We will start with that. Also, this is just a sample topic. Many of them will be covered by Socrates. Few of them will be covered by me, Jewel Bhai, and also sometimes Mohsin will be helping to prepare all of this preparation. So we don't have daily quiz. We used to have daily quiz. Since we have 3 classes now, we will have weekly quiz. So end of the week, we will have like 10 to 15 short question quiz for the topic we cover every week, right? So also we'll have a discussion. If you have any question, end of the class, you'll be asking us, we'll be giving question and answer section for that. Also, we'll be discussing about the homework. If you have any question, you can ask that time. Next slide, Jilly. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is one of the course outline sample, right? So you see this W1, M1, that means week 1, meeting 1, right? So you will see this type of course outline beginning of the course, and basically when you are our student, you will have all of these documents with you for your reference, so that you know what day we are covering what material or what topics, so you can prepare yourself accordingly and make a plan. So this is from last batch. Probably the name and topic will be changed a little bit, but format will be very similar. Next slide, Julian. Okay, so this is one of the big part actually. We are saying this is a 4 months course and you are getting good jobs, right? You have big opportunities, right? But before going to job market, right? You have to prove that, okay, you are ready. And how you can actually prove that? Jewel Bhai already mentioned, right? You need like 15 to 20 hours of study every week. If you are really good, like it depends on everybody, right? Some people are really talented. They can cover in 10 hours. Somebody maybe need 25 hours instead of 10 hours. So is person to person vary. So you need to commit for 15 to 20 hours a week for homework, study, and all the materials you are reviewing. Our attendance, right, rate to successfully completion, 80% of meeting you have to attend. Another thing, you cannot actually miss 3 meetings in a row, right? Or we also expecting communication, professionalism, right? If you miss any class, you should let us know that, okay, I have a family emergency or I have something, I cannot join today's class. So let us know if you miss any class. That is our expectation. Quizzes will be mandatory. Each week we will have quiz, and you're supposed to give those quiz back to us by the deadline. And we will have 3 projects, right? And those 3 projects are very, very important because these 3 projects will help you to prepare for real work, right? When you go to job and work as a QA engineer or analyst, you have to do some tasks, right? And that 3 projects will be very similar to that task. So you will get a taste of real life work experience. So all the projects actually based on real life experience. So you will actually get those experience even before you going to the work. And already Socrates told that you have to be really, really good in the interview, right? And as a QA director, Socrates always hire the best, right? And other companies also will be following same thing. So you have to be really, really good when you prepare. So after successful course training, right, there are some services we'll be actually offering. DTS will work with you one-to-one basis. You will get very similar knowledge that a 5 years real experienced QA has. So the material we'll be covering, sometimes this is actually much, much better than sometimes 10 years experienced QA, because we are actually covering all the latest information, right? All the tools that in the market right now we'll be covering, they're very popular. So sometimes you will be like more stronger candidate than somebody is working last 10 years. Because some people are working last 10 years and still following maybe old tool, right? So you are learning all the new tools, new technology, new process. So you will definitely be more stronger in the job market when you are prepared. So as I said, I will be helping you. Joel Bhai will be helping you, and Mohsin Bhai and Socrates will be helping you through this journey. This is a 4 months journey. If you can give your 100%, I can guarantee you that you will not be. I can guarantee that you will be getting the job, that the dream job actually, that QA opportunity. And Socrates already told you that this is a big opportunity at this point. So at this point, I'm not sure what is the next slide, but I will share. Oh, okay, so I have few stuff to talk. Okay. So basically, this is the services that we will be providing you as part of our student. So all the details, Socrates already gave you the idea already. So I will go to the payment plan that actually Mohsin Bhai will be checking and giving you all the details, because Mohsin Bhai will be the account coordinator. He is the point of contact for you. If you have any specific question about onboarding, any help, anything, right? So he will be actually communicating with you. Plus, we will have our email, our WhatsApp channel, where you can post your question all the time, and we'll be answering you all the time as quick as possible. But other than that, if you have any emergency, any inquiry, you can communicate with Mohsin Bhai and with any of us actually. So I will hand And I'll actually move to Mohsin Bhai. Mohsin Bhai, you are ready?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, again.
So hi everyone, my name is Abdul Mohsin Ludi. So I'll be the in charge for uh, charging for onboarding and explain fees and collecting. And I'll explain you guys about the payment option and how it works. And so there are two separate costs. The first one is class training, learning and gaining skills. That's $2,000. And first 2 weeks of classes are completely free. And if you decide to continue after 2 weeks, you will be responsible to start paying 2004 payments. That's the first one. And the second one is resume preparations, interview preparation, interview, health, job onboarding, post-job, and help. That's cost $5,000. And this 5,000 will be paid in 5 payments only after you get this job. And if you have any question for onboarding, for registering the form for our school or any kind of question, please contact with me for the payment method, any kind of question, please feel free to contact me. And definitely Jolbe is there. He will help you for everything, Sokati and Shantobai that he mentioned. And let me tell you a little bit about my background. I'm working as a architecture, one of the retirement firm, and I used to be a student like you guys a couple years back. And now I'm working as a under me 40 tester work. So you can able to see me today where I am today at. So I hope you will be the next person like me. Just one thing is very important. You have to work hard, study hard. I always listen to Joel Bai, and whoever listen to him, everybody, most of them are 99% people are successful. So that's, I just give you example, whatever I have done in my life. Just I follow to Joel Bai. So that's it.
Thank you, Mohsin.
Yeah.
Thank you for covering that.
Yeah,
And so I'll be adding a few things here. Mohsin mentioned about the payment structure. And like he said that training is 2,000 and that is in 4 payment. And then we got 5,000, which is after you get a job. So definitely compared to other schools, compared to other institute within New York, you can probably do some checks, go in and see like what their payment structure is. And but one thing that I would like to emphasize here is that what you are paying for, right? You're paying for somebody to help you creating a resume, which includes resume preparation, and also help you for the interview. Meaning when you have an interview set up and you need mentorship, you need some sort of help, you need to actually go through the questions, or you need to see what the company is looking for, what is the job description, and then you sit down one-on-one in order to prep yourself in order to get that job, right? And that is very important, because many schools out there, what they will do the training, okay, and then they will say, go ahead and create a resume. Here is a sample resume for you. We don't do that. We create the resume for you, and moreover, we create a script. Now, question is, what is a script? A script is something like, let's say you work for customer service job. Let's say you work for T-Mobile. And when you call T-Mobile, the first thing they said, hey, thank you so much for, they have their script where they thank you for being a customer. And then they state their names, and then they proceeded on taking your information before they can help you, okay? Now, our script is created in a way that is going to make you sound more like an experienced QA engineer. We created the script is because when you go out there in the market and you get a phone call and you really don't know what to say, you're going to be out of blue, you will be nervous and you'll hang up the phone, right? And so because of that reason, we created the script where if somebody talks to you for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, at no point they will feel like you just did a crash course and you don't have much experience, okay? And so this is true for even if you're struggling. If you're struggling, somebody like, let's say your English is not that good, but you can read, okay? So we're gonna create the script, you can read, but over time, after looking at the script and reading, At some point, you will become a pro. At some point, you'll become better. So that's one thing that I want to emphasize, that we help you through that. Training, we have enforcement for each class, which means that when you do your homework, when you don't show up, we will try to follow through, we'll guide you, we'll reach out to you. And that is purely because we want to make sure that you're motivated all the time. And the other thing that you will see is weekly basis announcement. So if you're in the group, we're going to add you to our internal group once you register. And in the internal group, you will see that people are getting jobs. So weekly basis, you'll see news and congratulations if somebody gets a job. Sometimes we have returning students who would like a better job and they couldn't get it on their own. So we help them, mentor them, and get them jobs. The other thing I would like to mention here is that there are schools out there, and I will not name them here. There are a few schools in Bronx. There is one of the oldest school, PNT. People always come from those schools and they end up becoming successful through us. So that's what you are paying for at this point. And remember, you taking us seriously so we can take you seriously, right? You're becoming a QA engineer. We're not asking you to give us a 10% or 20% of your salary, right? Once you're done, you can move on and enjoy your paychecks for the rest of your lives. With that said, I would like to open up for questions and answers. So we'll be here for the next 20 to 30 minutes to answer any questions you may have. I will go ahead and stop recording so that way we can share this video with the rest of the people without having to have a lot of lengthy, unnecessary information. So Shantavai, if you can stop recording and then we can do the questions and answers.